Yeah, do you know the guy who invented the toothbrush was born across the road, but there's no plaque on the wall. Hello and welcome back to Sally Antiques, a YouTube channel where we show the interesting and unusual things that pass through our hands. Today we're going to talk about a nice piece of Staffordshire, which Jerry's going to tell us all about in a minute. But before we do that, I'll just warn you that we've got the choir singing in the bar above us, so it's not the heavenly sound of angels singing. It is our resident choir practicing. But Jerry, tell us about this lovely thing.
Hello Ross. Hi everyone. Today we will present you an item that may seem a bit unusual. Some of you may even consider it ugly, but the Victorians loved it. It is a Staffordshire ceramic figure of Louis Napoleon, most known by everyone as Napoleon III. He was a big VIP back in the day. I will tell you his story in a moment, as he was one of the most important figures of the 19th century, and his life story actually is related with our city of Portsmouth. First though, I do want to say a few words about the item itself, which you obviously can find on the sallyantiques.co.uk, along with many other items from the same period. The Staffordshire Pottery are earthenware figures made in England, mainly in the county of Staffordshire, but also in other counties and also in Scotland. The broadest use of the term Staffordshire would include all such pieces made between the 1740 and 1960. From the 1780 onwards, actually, we can categorize them as Pratt Ware between 1780 and 1840, Pre-Victorian Staffordshire between 1800 and 1837, so they overlap somehow. Victorian Staffordshire between 1837 and 1900, and the so-called Kent figures between 1890 and 1960. The choice of subject matter for these ceramic figures evolved in response to the general taste. Two subjects remained popular throughout the entire period though, and they are the lions and the dogs. The earlier Pratt Ware design depicted historical and heroic figures, but also ordinary soldiers and sailors and characters that you'll meet in your daily life. This current actually continued somehow in the early to mid-Victorian manufacturing period with distinctive characteristics though. If you like to see some of these early pieces I mentioned, please visit the sallyantiques.co.uk website, where we actually have quite a number of these early examples for sale. The distinguishing features of these new Victorian Staffordshire pieces are the characteristic blue tinge to the white lead glaze, a decorated front, but only from around 1845, the concave bases, the rich cobalt blue until about 1860, the absence of manufacturing marks, which is the case of this one as well, and the old dull gilt. The Staffordshire figures were very popular amongst the working class, especially in the mid-Victorian age. The public was hungry for images now, and they were no longer interested in imitation pieces. Most ordinary folk could not read. Therefore, modelers inspired these figures from theatre programs, and music covers, and popular culture, from newspapers like London Illustrated News, the Shakespeare Gallery, the Punch, and basically they transposed today's news into clay's images everyone could understand. Riding the wave of the young Queen Victoria's huge popularity with an expanding market to town and city buyers, the sales of this kind of pottery literally exploded. Figures depicting pastoral scenes and pursuits, reminiscent of rural life, were of great sentimental importance to the rural poor people now flocking to find work in rapidly industrialized towns and villages. Britain's lead in the Industrial Revolution and its success in the overseas trade had made her the richest and the most powerful nation on earth at that time. The abundance of figures provides today's collectors and decorators a unique record of public taste during this fascinating period in history. So again, please visit the Sally Antiques website to see more relevant examples. I will say now a few more words about Napoleon III, the character which is actually depicted by our lovely Staffordshire figure. He was known by everyone as Napoleon Bonaparte's nephew, and he was elected as the first president of France after the Revolution of 1848, and was in this role up to 1852, when he became Emperor of France, up to 1870. He was one of the architects of modern Europe. He modernized the French banking system, the educational system, the railways, the navy. He ended the famine in France and did many other things. Of course, he was a key figure in the Crimean War, the reason for which is actually depicted by the Staffordshire Ceramics. You can read more about him online if you're interested, of course. He lost his throne during the war with Prussia in 1870-1871, and he was exiled to England at the end of the, well, actually in the March 1871. He lived for a short while, a few streets away from where we're actually filming now, and settled eventually at Camden Place. He died on 9th of January 1873, and it is now buried at the Imperial Crypt at St. Michael's Abbey in Farnborough in Hampshire. I hope this was interesting. Don't forget to search for this on the website. We will put a link for it in the description. Thanks for watching.
Well, thank you, Raz. That was very interesting. This is on the sallyantiques.co.uk webpage if you're interested. It's a nice thing. They're quite sought after. Please like and subscribe to the YouTube channel and all our social media, and we hope to see you in the future. Thank you.